Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blair if you're new here, and today we're going to do two things. It is that time of the year. I need to do my third quarter review for you guys, tell you where I stand with my debt payoff and my savings goals and any other goals I feel like speaking on. And then also I'm going to combine this with my holiday prep planning for this month and just kind of share with you what I needed to do and try and finish that up, and we'll do that together. So I do want to start with the holiday planning. So for this month, it was for me to get my baking plan and ingredients list written up. So I've been mulling this over all month, and I did finally come up with the 4 cookies that I plan to make this year. 3 of them are tried and trues. I've made them a number of times. And the last one is going to be a new recipe that we're going to try. This is where I struggled, was with the new recipe, trying to find one, because I was going through my Pinterest board for Christmas baking and so many of my recipes were ginger related, like gingerbread or, you know, just variations on gingerbread. And I have tried gingerbread, I don't know, 3-4 different times, different variations, different recipes, and they just never come out. And I'm like, I just need to give up on them and stop trying to make gingerbread because it doesn't work. And then I started to look at other recipes I may have saved, and a lot of them are like variations on like thumbprint cookies, which sounded really good, but they don't last more than a week. And the hard thing for me is that when I bake cookies for the holidays is I mail them home to my family. So if they're only gonna last a week, that doesn't do me a whole lot of good if I wanna ship things different places. So I decided against that. And at that point, I think I had exhausted a lot of what was on my board. So I started just searching Christmas cookie recipes on Pinterest to see if I could find something new. So the one I came up with probably is honestly going to be the easy way out, but they're like a peppermint chocolate chip cookie, basically chocolate chip with candy canes in it. So simple, but it'll be a different taste than the other cookies I'm making, which is the whole point. And then they are supposed to last a lot longer then, so I can ship them where I need to ship them. So that is the new cookie I'll be making this year. And then my normal tried and true are my green Christmas tree cookies, snowflake cookies, and then I try to do sugar cookies for decorating. So the next thing that I want to do for this, so I can wrap this section up for this month, is I go through literally the recipes and write down what ingredients I need and the quantities, and then I'll add those up. That way I know exactly what ingredients I need to plan to purchase, and I can kind of price that out. So we're gonna do that part first, and then we'll move on to the actual third quarter review. So I've talked about this. This is a website / app you can get on your phone called Copy Me That. And this is where I store any tried and true recipes or baking, you know, whatever I've made that is good, because I can pull it from the website and it makes it a little easier. So some of them you can manually put in as well. So like the Christmas cookies, which are more of a family recipe, I just put them in here myself so I could see them. So like I said, we'll pull up one at a time, and then I'll go down my list here and I'll write out the ingredient and the quantity I need. So now that we've gone through all of our recipes here, just to explain this, so I will total these up and then I can throw everything in the cart and then find out kind of an estimate of what I'll need to spend for baking ingredients this year. Granted, there's some items that I may not need to buy, like they're in the cupboard, they haven't been used, they're not expired, like, so I won't necessarily have to buy this all, but now I know quantities when I total this up. So then I'll know which items I actually have to buy, and then I'll price that from there. But this is kind of how I plan and prep for the cookies ahead of time, so I can start anticipating. Plus with anything else that's like holiday related, in all honesty, like prices can go up. Like baking ingredients can get more costly as we get to the season because so many people are buying them and there are other shortages, or, you know, we've seen this in the last couple of years. So sometimes I even buy this stuff over the next couple like grocery pickups for me, and I'll get an item here and there so I'm ready to go and I don't have to worry about it, and that honestly takes a lot out of worrying about it. So, but this is the baking prep that we needed to plan. So we're gonna cross this off the list for this month. We'll move on to the third quarter review. So now that we're done with the Christmas baking portion, or not baking, but you know what I mean, list, we will move on to the next part, which is going to be the third quarter review. Not a ton to talk about on this. Obviously, we want to talk about my debt payoff. So since the second quarter ended, how did they do this? January. So here we are at the end of the third quarter, and I have paid off now a little over $6,000 towards my debt. We're still making giant progress. We got it under 10 grand. I still owe almost 9,000 on it. To be honest, I'm not for sure that I'm going to have this paid off by the end of the year. That's a lot of money to shell out in the next 3 months and hope that it lowers it down to zero. So we're gonna push, well, not gonna push. I'm gonna still do the best that I can to pay as much as I can. I've been aiming for $1,000 a month to try and drop this balance dramatically. But like, for instance, last month I did not do that. I ended up doing $800 because I wanted to get my Christmas sinking fund filled so I could start paying for this stuff as we go. But for the most part, I've been knocking out like $1,000 every time. So it's been trickling down quite rapidly. The other thing is, obviously federal student loans are kicking back in. I think it's supposed to be end of September. They changed me from the income driven plan to the SAVE plan, that new program. And because of that, I guess I have no payments for another year. So that actually is kind of nice because I can keep staying focused on this. I'm really hoping in the first few months of 2024, I can have this debt gone. And then I can start putting money towards the federal loan, even though I don't have payments due, just to knock that down some more. So that was part of it. The other update we have, so the other major financial goal that I had for this year was to save 5 grand. We're at 4,750. So that will definitely be done before the end of the year. And just proactively thinking ahead, I decided that for next year, I want to start saving 5,000 for a new car fund. Not that my car is having problems or it's a problem. I mean, it's an older car and eventually it's going to go. If I start saving money now for it, well, there's 2 reasons. So if I start saving money for it now, when it comes time that I need to buy a new vehicle, I'll already have either a chunk towards a down payment, or I can buy a car outright, which would be the better hope, but 5,000 is just a start. In my mind, I thought, you know what, we're just gonna start focusing as soon as the 5K goal that I had for this year is saved, I will start focusing on 5K towards a new car. Because I think if I had that 5K set aside already, that's well enough for a down payment on a car. So that'll be my proactive goal for next year. Trying to think what else I normally talk about in this third quarter, because I feel like predominantly it's gonna be based on, you know, what we're doing here. Just, I guess, to go over a few things, like reading wise, I'm on my last technical book that was on my list. I'm gonna read one more story, I think a holiday story that my grandma gave me, just to round off the year because I did finish reading so quickly. So that's one thing I did do. Recipes, cooking, totally been doing that. I'm pretty sure I'm well above the number I wanted to have now for the year. And it's been good because I'm learning so many new recipes. I'm finding new things that I like that I could throw into my repertoire for when I'm trying to plan meals and I can't come up with something. So that's been really good. My tithing's been really, really consistent this year. I don't think I've missed a pay period yet where I haven't paid a tithe, so that's awesome. My Great Pumpkin Run 5K virtual, that just shipped today. I haven't done a 5K. I've barely ran this year. I am going to complete this 5K because I paid for it. However, it may be a case that I'm gonna end up walking it instead of doing any type of jogging and running. Because even my working out has not been consistent at all. I'm still dealing with issues with my back. It's not as bad as it's been, but it's like I wake up in the morning with a lot of back pain. Like it's really sore. But then the more I get up and move around and walk, like after an hour to 2 hours sometimes, it's like it's oiling up the joints and things don't hurt anymore. It just stops. And so I feel fine the rest of the day on most occasions. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. That's kind of my review. The biggest thing to update you guys on was the financial, like the debt payoff and my savings goals, because those are the huge things I'm really striving and focusing and making progress on. And I'm proud of it. I'm happy I'm doing it, and I'm thankful for it. As for the other goals that required me to be more physical, you know, I can't change that. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. Hopefully it was updating, and I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a blessed day.